Hello, welcome back. We are looking at instead of and rather than. They're very, very similar, but instead of, there is not really much preference. Rather than does have more preference. For example, instead of going to the cinema, we went to the restaurant. I had no preference, so this is what was chosen. But there's no preference. Rather than going to the cinema, we went to the restaurant. It's because we have preference for the restaurant. So I clearly want to go to the restaurant. I would rather go to the restaurant. Not much in terms of grammar explanation here, but we'll get some examples done at the bottom and everything should be a lot more clear. We'll see you in a moment. And welcome back to your answer section. Instead of and rather than. The first example, we have Madrid and Barcelona. So I came to Madrid instead of going to Barcelona. I came to Madrid instead of going to Barcelona. This means that I didn't really have any preference. Now, I live in Madrid, so now I love Madrid. It's my home. So rather than living in Barcelona, I live in Madrid because I prefer Madrid now. Okay, the second one. Italian and Indian. We're speaking about restaurants, so rather than an Italian restaurant, I prefer to go to an Indian restaurant because I like Indian food a lot. Okay, the next one. The red sofa, the blue sofa. I had a choice when I was in the shop, and instead of the red sofa, we chose the blue sofa. For me, it didn't really make a difference, but the blue sofa is nice anyway. Next one. The meeting on the 4th, the meeting on the 5th. Well, if the meeting is on the 5th of November, then I rather have the meeting on the 4th because the 5th is my birthday. Or instead of the 4th, the 5th. It doesn't make any difference to me. Next one, number 5. Learning English and learning Spanish. Instead of learning English, the Italian guy learned Spanish because it's an easier language for Italian people. Okay, but maybe rather than learning Spanish, he prefers to learn English. Maybe it's a more international European language. Next, beer and wine. Rather than a beer, I prefer wine. Walking there briskly or taking a taxi. Instead of walking there briskly, let's take a taxi. I don't mind, walking or taxi, but, let's take a taxi. We're a bit late. Being a pain in the ass and being helpful. Pain in the ass, like, que coñazo, So, rather than being a pain in the ass, I prefer to be helpful because I want to help you learn as quickly as possible. Next, send a fax or write a letter. Instead of sending a fax, write a letter. It might be quicker. But again, we don't have much preference there. Sending a fax, several years ago now, but we prefer to write a letter. We say rather than or instead of because there are 2 options. And then the next one, iPhone and Android. Instead of Android, I bought an iPhone. But both are actually very, very good, but I just made the decision, iPhone, okay, why not? Right, we'll see you in the next class, and thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.